Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum students. Today we will start our next industry, which is about the fertilizers. Firstly, we will define the fertilizers. Fertilizers are the materials which are used to increase the fertility of the soil. Nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium containing materials are very important for normal plant life. The function of nitrogen is: number 1, it is required during the early stages of growth of plants. Number 2, it promotes the development of roots, leaves and shoots. Next is the function of phosphorus. It stimulates the growth of plant. Number 2, it accelerates seed or fruit formation. Number 3, it causes resistance to disease. Next is the role of potassium. It is needed for the formation of starch, sugar and fibrous material of plant. Number 2, it regulates the water economy of the plants. Next topic is the need of fertilizer. Fertilizers is needed due to 3 purposes. Number 1, it supplies the deficient component to the soil. Number 2, it gives an additional supply of good food to soil so that plants may grow healthy and produce better product. Number 3, it maintains the pH of the soil in the range of 7 to 8. Next is the classification of fertilizers. Fertilizers are classified into following groups. Number 1 is the direct fertilizers. These fertilizers are directly absorbed by the plants and contain nutrient elements in the form of mineral salts. For example, superphosphates, nitrates and ammonium compounds. Number 2, indirect fertilizers. These fertilizers are used to improve the chemical or biological properties of the soil. For example, dolomite, limestone, gypsum. Number 3, complete fertilizers. These fertilizers contain all the essential elements needed for the growth of plants in combined form. For example, guano. Number 4, incomplete fertilizers. These fertilizers contain only 1 or 2 elements needed for the growth of plants. For example, ammonium phosphate or potassium nitrate. Natural fertilizers. These are divided into 2 groups: natural organic fertilizers and the natural inorganic fertilizers. Natural organic fertilizers, the source of these fertilizers are the natural one. For example, plant matter, animal residues, plant residues, farmyard manures. And the natural inorganic fertilizers such as rock phosphate. Artificial fertilizers. These are also known as the chemical fertilizers. These are made artificially. For example, urea. Artificial fertilizers are again divided into 2 groups: artificial organic fertilizers and artificial inorganic fertilizers. The example of artificial organic fertilizers is urea, and artificial inorganic fertilizers are ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate or superphosphate, etc. Microfertilizers. These fertilizers contain the elements such as boron, manganese, zinc, copper, and in very small amounts. Next, classification of the chemical fertilizers or artificial fertilizers. These are classified as follows: nitrogenous fertilizers, phosphatic fertilizers, potash fertilizer, phosphatic cum nitrogen fertilizer, NPK, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium fertilizers. Nitrogenous fertilizers. Most of the nitrogen containing fertilizers are synthetic products obtained by the neutralizing acid and alkalis. Important nitrogenous fertilizers are ammonium sulfate, urea, calcium nitrate, ammonium nitrate and monoammonium phosphate. Firstly, we will describe urea. This is the formula of the urea. Chemical name of urea is carbamide. Urea is an organic compound. It is high quality nitrogenous fertilizer with 46% nitrogen content. Synthesis or manufacture of urea. Urea is synthesized from ammonia and carbon dioxide in the presence of iron oxide as a catalyst. Following steps are involved for the formation of urea. First is the production of carbon dioxide, next production of ammonia, and third one is the production of urea. We will discuss them step by step. Urea is manufactured by reacting liquefied ammonia with liquefied carbon dioxide at 170 to 200 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature, and 100 to 300 atmospheres. This is the pressure. Atmosphere is the unit of pressure, and it is a very high pressure. Urea formation takes place in two steps. In the first step, ammonia, this L indicates it will be in the liquefied form. Similarly, carbon dioxide, this L indicates that it will be also in the liquefied form. Ammonia and carbon dioxide will react and will give you ammonium carbamate. Ammonium carbamate dehydrates. Dehydrates means removal of water molecule. Ammonium carbonate dehydrates and will give you urea and water. Next is the synthesis of the ammonia. Now we will discuss step by step all the processes. For the synthesis of ammonia, nitrogen and hydrogen is required, as the formula indicates. Natural gas is the main source of hydrogen. Natural gas, the formula of natural gas is methane, CH4. This is the natural gas. Steam, water. When the water will be in the gaseous form, it is known as steam. So when steam is passed over the natural gas or methane in the presence of nickel pellet as a catalyst, carbon dioxide and hydrogen will be produced. Hydrogen is used for the formation of ammonia. The carbon dioxide is removed from this gaseous mixture in which hydrogen and carbon dioxide both are present. Carbon dioxide is removed from this hydrogen by reaction with the basic solution, and only hydrogen will remain at last. The reaction is given on the next page. Nitrogen is next is the nitrogen, source of nitrogen. Source of hydrogen is natural gas, and the source of nitrogen is air. As you know that air contains oxygen, nitrogen in high percentage with all other trace elements of other gases. So oxygen must be removed from the air. For removing oxygen from the air, again combustion process will take place. Combustion of methane will take place, and the result of the combustion will be, as you know, that always combustion will be production of carbon dioxide and water. It's an exothermic reaction. Carbon dioxide and water are absorbed in potassium carbonate solution. This is the basic solution. It will turn it into potassium bicarbonate. After removing carbon dioxide and water, the only gas left in the air will be pure nitrogen. So from the carbon dioxide produced by both these reactions, number one reaction and number two this one, these two reactions is then removed by the single step. This one, the reaction by the reaction with base, and remaining water is removed by condensation. The proportion of hydrogen and nitrogen in ammonia is, as the formula indicates, NH3. It means hydrogen will be in 3 parts and nitrogen will be in 1 part. So proportion will be 3:1. Nitrogen reacts with hydrogen and will give you ammonia. These are the catalysts: iron oxide, chromium and cerium. The optimum temperature required for the formation of ammonia is 450 degrees Celsius and 200 atmospheric pressure. Formation of ammonia is an exothermic reaction, and gases coming out of the converter are cooled, and ammonia is converted to liquid state, as we required liquid ammonia for the formation of urea. So liquid state temperature will be minus 33.3 degrees Celsius. Production of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is obtained from natural gas. Natural gas, after being purified and compressed, is subjected to combustion in the presence of nickel pellet as a catalyst. As we already studied this reaction, methane plus oxygen will give you carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Some carbon monoxide at the same time, some carbon monoxide will also produce as a side reaction. So this carbon monoxide again will react with water and will produce carbon dioxide and hydrogen. Next is the formation of the urea. Liquid ammonia and carbon dioxide gas after being compressed. After being compressed, the carbon dioxide will change into liquid form or entered into the reaction chamber, where the following reaction will take place. This reaction we studied in the early step, that ammonia will react with carbon dioxide and will give you ammonium carbate, and this ammonium carbonate formed is passed to the distillation tower, where it undergoes dehydration and forms urea and water. This is the flow sheet diagram for the manufacturing of urea. Liquid ammonia and carbon dioxide gas carbon dioxide gas will go to this compressor and will change into the liquid carbon dioxide. Liquid ammonia and liquid carbon dioxide gas will go to this reaction chamber. Here the reaction will take place and ammonium carbamate will form, as we studied earlier. From this ammonium carbamate will go to this tower. This is known as the distillation tower. And in this tower, dehydration process will take place and removal of water will take place. So from this here the urea will form, and from this urea will go to this evaporator. Here the excess of water and other gases will be removed. These are gases ammonia, carbon dioxide and water. They were removed and go to recirculation for use to this formation of urea. Ammonia will come here and carbon dioxide will come here, and from this evaporation the urea, concentrated urea, will go to the tank in this tank. This is known for storage tank. From this storage tank it will go to this tower. This is known as the granulator. This is or the peeling tower. This one, granulator or the peeling tower. Here the technique, air blowing technique, is used to change the urea in the form of granules or prills. Granules mean danedar. These granules are then packed and stored, and they will go packed in bags and go to the storage tank. This is all about the urea formation. Urea is being manufactured at Multan, Lahore, Dadu Khel, Mirpur, Sadkabad and Dharki. Thank you. This is all about the urea. Next we will study other fertilizers.